Good afternoon, South Africa. Welcome to Afternoon Express. I'm Bonnie Mbuli. Today is World Diabetes Day, so it's only apt to talk about diabetes in the loft today. So first up, we're joined by Gabriel van Wesemael, who's a 13-year-old boy who suffers from type 1 diabetes. He started a YouTube channel to raise awareness. He also is going to share some diabetes-friendly recipes with us. We also have a doctor in the loft to talk to us about the different types of diabetes and how they can be treated. In the kitchen, Danilo's entertaining.
Indeed, we are. Good afternoon, South Africa, and welcome to Afternoon Express. It's a brand new week, and I hope your weekend was so special. Thanks for joining us on the show today. I'm so excited to have my kitchen mama with me again, Abigail Donnelly. You probably should. You're one of my favorite people to cook with in this kitchen. You always have the coolest recipes.
Oh, thank
but
you.
today it's special to have you because you also have diabetes.
I do. I'm type 2.
Okay.
I got it when I was pregnant many years ago.
Huh. And so today on the show, you're going to be showing us how to make a diabetes-friendly recipe. This is one of your personal favorites.
It is. So it's sweet potatoes, and I always think, I always want carbs. There's always that urge for a bit of carb. So to stay away from the bread and the kind of not the great things, is always believe that a sweet potato, because of the packed full of fibre that it has, it kind of stabilizes the sugar a little bit, or just gives a little bit. I mean, obviously not in copious amounts, but I think definitely better than a normal potato.
Awesome. So if you want a sneak peek into the recipe details, you want it on your mobile device, you've got to SMS the keyword chips to 33650. It'll cost you $150, and your free SMSs don't apply. And then also later on, right here on Afternoon Express, we've got another special guest coming to join us. As Bonnie said, he's going to be making us some incredible dishes on the show. Now, speaking of that guest, there are two types of diabetes, which we've already mentioned here today. And most people who do have this disease have either type 2 diabetes, which is mostly caused by a sort of lifestyle. It's unhealthy eating, lack of exercise, and many other factors. But some people are unfortunate enough to live with type 1 diabetes, which is not caused by lifestyle and rather caused by a problem with the pancreas. One such person is young Gabriel van Wesemael, who has taken it upon himself to raise awareness about the disease.
I was very thirsty and I was going to the toilet a lot and I was wetting my bed a few times, which was quite embarrassing. So we went to the clinic and the lady checked my glucose levels and she was amazed. Usually normal is 4 to 8 and my sugar was 28 and she couldn't believe it, so she checked again and it was 30.
Well, we're joined now by Gabriel and his mother, Lee Wood. Welcome to the loft.
Hello.
Lovely to have you with us.
Yep.
So there's a little bit of an interesting story before we start speaking about your journey with diabetes.
Okay.
You and I were in a movie together when you were only 7 years old.
I know. It's so strange.
Isn't that amazing? What a small world.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks, and you?
Well, you've grown up to be a very handsome young man.
Thank you.
So tell us about the first time you found out that you had type 1 diabetes.
Well, I was with my dad on holiday in Pretoria, and then I was very thirsty, and I was just drinking the whole day, and I wet my bed a few times, and I was just going to the toilet all the time. So
and how old were you at this stage?
I was 12. It was last year.
Okay.
And when we got back to Cape Town, we have a friend, Roxy. She has a friend who has a daughter who also has type 1 diabetes. So she said that maybe we should go and check it out at the clinic. So we went to the clinic at this pharmacy, and when she checked my levels, it was 28, which is really high because normal is 4 to 8. So then she checked it again, and then it was 30. So she said we must go straight to the doctor. So we went to the doctor, and then the doctor sent us straight to the hospital. And then the hospital I went to was Christian Barnard. And then Christian Barnard sent us to Skier, where they told us... No.
So it was quite severe, basically, because it escalated quite quickly.
Yeah.
And how did you feel when you found this out?
Well, I was very sad, but, I was also very surprised because, I didn't really know much about diabetes, and then I didn't think that you could get diabetes at such a young age.
Young age, yes. And how did you feel as mom to hear these news?
Wow, I was totally shocked. You kind of, when my friend suggested to go and check, I was like, but he's only 12.
He's 12.
Like, diabetes, you know, because you kind of don't know much about it. And when I found out, it was a huge shock because we were just about to immigrate to the Netherlands 3 weeks later.
Oh, my goodness.
So it was like, oh dear.
Turned your world upside down.
Yeah, big time.
What is type 1 diabetes and how does it manifest itself?
Gabriel can tell you that.
Well, type 1 diabetes is when your pancreas doesn't produce insulin, so then you have to inject insulin manually.
Whoa.
Yeah.
How has this changed your life, just on a practical day-to-day basis?
Well, it's quite a lot to think about during the day, because firstly, before I eat, I have to check my levels, or if I'm feeling low, then I have to check it. But also, like, it affects my sport a lot, because if I do a lot of sport and I'm doing a lot of exercise, then that causes my sugar levels to go down. So then I have to stop and I have to have something to eat, like something with a lot of carbohydrates, like a fruit or a sweet or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's quite a mission sometimes, but it's starting to kind of be part of my life. And I'm getting used to it now.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like it takes a lot of responsibility from you just
Yeah.
to be aware of always what's going on in your body. But then you didn't let this get you down. You started a diabetes kitchen on YouTube.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Well, when I first got diabetes, at the hospital they suggested that I just take out a few things and then just carry on taking insulin. But then, like, as a goodbye gift from a friend, we got Tim Noakes' book. And then we started doing research on the low-carb diet and how it's really good for diabetics and also normal people, but especially diabetics. So then I decided I want to create awareness within diabetics that they should be eating a low-carb diet. Because it's just going to make their life a lot easier.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, and do you enjoy making the recipes?
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah.
Because also when I was small, I always wanted to be a chef.
Oh.
So that's also it's really
So
cool.
it was perfect timing.
Yeah.
You've also brought along a friend. Please
Yeah.
introduce us.
So my biggest passion is animation. So I thought maybe there's a type of animation called stop frame animation, where you take a picture and you move it, and then you take a picture and move it, and then you speed it up, and then it creates an animation. So I made this little puppet over here with wire and some material. So he's kind of going to be like on the sideline giving facts about why you shouldn't eat bread or why you should eat broccoli or, you know, stuff like that.
So what stuff can you eat and not eat in your diet?
Well, I can't eat stuff with grains like bread, pasta, cake, all those kind of things, and I can't eat sugar either. It's basically stuff with a lot of carbohydrates.
Yeah.
So, like, meat and vegetables is fine, but also people think fruit is good sometimes, but actually fruit has a lot of sugar, so it's mainly vegetables and meat that I can eat, and I can't eat bread and stuff.
Which is actually generally healthy for everybody.
Yeah.
You've got it under control, it seems. Does that mean you still have to take insulin, and how much do you take if you do?
So I still have to take insulin, but not a lot. So I knew this girl that used to take around 15 units of insulin at break time at school. Like, she used to have a triple-decker sandwich and a chocolate bar, and she was also a type 1 diabetic. And I usually take around 5 to 6 units for my school lunch. So that's like a lot less.
Wow. And do you inject the insulin yourself?
Yeah.
Wow. And is that just a process that happens quickly? You're used to it?
Yeah.
You don't make a fuss about it anymore?
No. And I wasn't really scared of needles before, so it just also made that easier.
Well, you're not leaving. It's so fun to have you here with us. You're going to cook something for us a little
Okay,
later.
cool.
Looking forward to that.
Awesome.
Danilo.
Oh, I can't wait for those delicious recipes. A little bit later, right here on Afternoon Express. But last week, Friday, we asked you to share something really cute with us. We asked you to share some photos of you and your furry friends. And so we want to read through some of those comments that came through. I'd love to show you some of the pictures that we saw on our Facebook page. Some really, really cool stuff. I just want to read through the first couple that sent them through. One came from Joanne Webster, who says, Robbie again, got him to pose this time. Has his insulin twice a day, sadly gone blind in one eye, and eyesight is going in the other, but still loves his walks and gets around the house just fine. Alta Cullet says, this is my Aurora, her mom's little angel. She saved my life. She was a gift from my father after my husband's death. She will turn 2 next year, the 25th of May. I love her with all my heart. Thanks for sharing that one, Alta. Really, really special animal, that one. And Joanne Webster says, my 10-year-old Robbie, who is diabetic for 2 years now. Nicole also saying, my buddy boy and I, with a cute little photo there posted. And the reason why we're asking you guys to post these really cool photos of you and your furry friends is because a little bit later on, we're going to be speaking about how dogs can get diabetes and animals can get diabetes too. So make sure you guys stay tuned to that conversation later, right here on Afternoon Express. After the break, Abigail and myself get cooking in the kitchen. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Afternoon Express. It's World Diabetes Day, and joining me in the loft kitchen is Abigail Donnelly from Taste Magazine. You do an incredible job. I always love the way that you guys style your recipes and make everything look so delicious. But today,
Thank you, Daniela.
Yeah, today you don't get to play with all the fun sugars and the sweet treat that you've put in that magazine. Today, seeing as you're also you suffer from diabetes and you've got type 2 diabetes,
yes, yeah.
we're going to be trying like a diabetes-friendly recipe on the show.
Yes.
So I'm going to get my hands dirty.
It's all about balance as well. So not too many sweet potatoes, all in moderation when you really feel like that.
So what are we making?
So these are sweet potatoes, which we've peeled. I'm going to get you to do the work.
Great.
So if you can cut those into wedges.
I can do that.
Because they're quite small, I'll do wedges, cut them into 4 pieces, 4 quarters,
gosh,
otherwise
no.
into 8s,
Dangerous.
otherwise into really nice, like, kind of little chips.
quite dangerous
And I kind of
having
call
meat.
them slap chips because it's, although they're not really that slap, it's just a slap chip has a fabulous connotation of something that's like a real treat.
Decadent,
Okay,
yes.
yeah, absolutely.
So is that a
decadent.
fine size?
That's perfect, yeah,
Cool,
absolutely.
right. That's that one.
And then what I've added to those is a little bit of olive oil. Just rub them all together on a tray, together with ground cumin and coriander, just to like zhuzh up the flavour, and a little bit of salt if you want. But you can leave off the salt as well.
So you're showing us a way today to kind of make like a chip and dip sort of thing.
Exactly.
That we're
yes.
making on the show.
Talking about that, let me start with the dip. So again, in moderation, a little bit of sriracha sauce.
I hope no one's commenting on my wedge cutting. Sorry,
Which is
Abigail.
a Thai kind of tomato sauce. No, it's perfect.
Oops.
As they say, always make recipes your own.
Okay.
You know?
then I've
Just
won.
look at the ingredients and then do your own thing. And then I've got some red onion. You can use spring onion as well. A little bit of mayonnaise, but if you really want to watch weight and obviously being
Look after your health,
diabetic,
yeah.
I would use a little bit of yogurt.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
a nice alternative actually. Maybe it's not as creamy and as rich, but yes, it is
But
going to
it's-
compromise on the
exactly,
health factor.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's the onions, and then we've got some chopped gherkins. And again, orange sweet potatoes are visual, they're beautiful. I prefer
Yes.
them, but they are a seasonal thing. So obviously with Woolies, they have them ready cut and in the freezer, and they are really gorgeous.
And they're really simple.
this
You
is
just
them.
throw them in a tray frozen even, I think, and you can just bake them like that. And it's
Absolutely,
simple.
yeah.
It's a nice way to create a dish for the family. I mean, even if you are wondering, like, oh, it should always just be a side, it's a great way to create a snack for the family as a sort of starter or for a group of people together.
Exactly.
And especially if you have diabetic friends, this is a great way to say that you're like, hey, I think of you and I know exactly what you need.
Exactly.
So,
Or the fantastic mushroom burger as well.
oh,
Yeah.
yes, yum.
Keep all of it
That's going to be our
together.
next recipe we cook together on the show.
Okay, promise.
hoy that in.
Okay, so do that.
Hoy
Little
the
bit of
olive
olive oil, just so it doesn't stick, or a grease-proof tray. And then here we've got
Oh, there's all the spices. Cumin and...
coriander.
Yum.
Or you could just do salt and pepper if you want.
But I think that cumin
Or
and
smoked
coriander
salt.
flavour does really bring out the earthiness of the sweet potato.
Exactly.
So
Look
it's a
at
good
you.
choice.
Yeah, exactly. Right
I'm
terminology.
trying to get a job at Taste Magazine, doing the descriptions. I'll type the descriptions below
Not the way you
recipes.
chop greased sweet potato. Lots of lessons there.
I said I'd do the
Okay.
descriptions, not the cooking.
Okay, and then just some gherkins. Obviously, it's a tartar sauce.
Yes.
We've just made it our own as well.
Sure, she makes it look
Chop,
so
chop,
simple.
chop, chop, chop. Can add a little bit of fresh coriander chopped as well, or some parsley,
We'll forget
chives,
about that now.
whatever, yeah.
We don't
exactly.
do coriander when I'm in the kitchen.
I really don't like coriander.
I don't mind it. It claims making me warm up to it, and I am starting to warm up to it. But it is one of those acquired tastes.
It is.
Oh, yummy.
Cool.
Just
So
mix
that's
all that up
nice and
together.
chunky.
That looks so
Perfect
yum.
tartar. You can have this with anything. You know, with a grilled fish, piece of chicken, on your burger.
Simple like
Delicious,
that, and your chips will
exactly.
come out the
Yeah.
oven. So just to remind me again, this goes into the oven at how hot? For how long?
I do 180. I
180?
do most things at 180.
And the packets?
Especially vegetables. That is also 180.
180 degrees for how long?
I would do this for probably about 25 minutes, 30 minutes until they're nice and charred and soft and yummy inside.
yummy.
And then probably 15 to 20 minutes as well with the sweet potatoes.
I want a quick tip, because not too long ago I had to make myself wedges in the oven, and I've never managed to sort of get the process right where you get that nice crisp crunch on the outside and then nice soft on the inside. So give me tips, please.
I'd leave the skin on.
Okay.
And which also kind of creates kind of like a bit of a barrier, but it's just like cooking
It's not
it
about
with the right
grilling
thing.
or extra oil or something?
No.
Okay, cool.
Not for me, yeah, and definitely no sugar.
All right, delicious. If you want to have this for dinner, perhaps, or maybe to work it throughout your sort of recipes in the week, or invite some of your diabetic friends over for dinner, then you can get the recipe on your mobile device simply by SMSing the keyword chips to 33650. That SMS will cost you R1.50, and your free SMSs do not apply. It's really simple to make, but here's a quick recap in case you missed anything.
Now, according to the International Diabetes Federation, South Africa, as of 2015, about 2.7 million people are living with diabetes. We also have the highest rate of obesity in sub-Saharan Africa at about 26% of the population, which is a big contributor to diabetes. We're back with Gabriel, who lives with type 1 diabetes, along with his mom, Lee, and we're joined now by Dr. Neville Wellington. Welcome to the Loft, Doctor.
Thank you for having me, Bonnie.
Cool. So what are the different types of diabetes that are out there, and what are their causes?
So there really are two main types, and then we have a number of other types. Probably the most important of the other types is gestational diabetes, which is a diabetes that occurs first in pregnancy. But the main types are the type 1 and type 2 diabetes, and it's probably best to talk about them because gestational diabetes is really can lead into type 2 diabetes as well. I think Abigail mentioned that she developed type 2 diabetes from pregnancy. And so type 1 diabetes is really a problem with the pancreas not producing insulin. We believe that it's due to an autoimmune damage that's done to the beta cells of the pancreas. The beta cells are the cells that produce insulin. And that then means that you can't produce enough insulin for yourself. You can't then control your glucose levels because insulin is very important for controlling glucose levels.
Okay.
And you therefore need to inject yourself with insulin. But with type 2 diabetes, it's a different story. It's not so much that you don't produce enough insulin, it's just that the insulin doesn't seem to function properly. And we call it, really, it's insulin resistance. So your body becomes resistant to the effects of insulin. So you're still producing insulin, but it doesn't seem to work enough and your glucose levels go up as well. So you're not controlling your glucose levels as well, and you need to then maybe use medication, although obviously we've been talking about low-carb diets and controlling what you eat, and it's very important that one looks at what you eat, and then obviously lifestyle in terms of exercise and then medication to control it.
Right. Now, a lot of people almost have like an oversimplistic idea of what diabetes is. They sometimes think it's just being allergic to sugar. What is the relationship between diabetes and sugar?
That's an excellent question. Obviously, if you eat sugar, you are going to raise your glucose levels because sugar it breaks down to glucose and fructose. And glucose is what your body produces in any case. Your liver is producing glucose all the time. So when you add glucose into your body system, you increase it. So there's a lot of studies and data to show that high levels of sugar actually increase your risk for diabetes. So eating a lot of sugar, we've actually known for probably 50, 60 years that, in fact, a high intake of sugar leads to diabetes. There was a doctor in Natal in the 1960s, a guy called George Campbell, who saw an increase in the population, the Zulu and the Indian population in Natal. There was a sugar plantations also coming online. And they had a huge intake of sugar, and many of them became diabetic. And he actually worked out that it took about 20 years for somebody to become diabetic, but they needed about 22 teaspoons of sugar a day for 20 years, and they could end up with diabetes. Now, we get sugar in our diet in many different forms. And the big intake of sugar comes through fizzy drinks, sugar drinks, fruit juices, and then obviously all the other carbohydrates that we eat, the sweets, the cakes, the high carb breads and cereals and that sort of thing. So we're getting sugar all the time in our diet.
And increasingly so.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. And where are we as the South African public in terms of our awareness of diabetes?
Well, as you mentioned, we have a huge number of patients and people with diabetes now. The IDF also says that only half people that are actually diagnosed actually know that they have diabetes. So we're probably looking at about more than 5 million people with diabetes in this country. And I think more and more people are becoming aware. You can literally be in a group, in any group, and somebody will know a diabetic or will be diabetic in this country. And so it's a major problem. We're just starting to see the effects of that. Our obesity rates are incredibly high, and it's climbing all the time. And unfortunately, that's just due to this high sugar industry and high sugar diet that we're eating at the moment. So, but the awareness is growing exponentially. I think everybody's aware, and it's fantastic that you have programs like this that are actually looking at this.
Absolutely. What are its symptoms? And I mean, obviously, early detection is obviously beneficial.
Yes, so for type 1 diabetes patients, the symptoms become very obvious very quickly. It develops quite quickly. There's a disease, so Gabriel mentioned being thirsty, losing weight, passing urine a lot, getting infections. Type 2 diabetes don't necessarily get symptoms quite quickly. In fact, evidence shows that patients can have diabetes for up to 7 years before they actually realize that they've got it. But the most common symptoms for them would be things like thirstiness, getting regular infections, thrush, throat infections, feeling fatigued, and just feeling unwell. And they can go to their doctor and be checked. And a day like today is really about trying to get people aware of it. Go and have your checks. When you go and see your doctor, have your sugar levels checked. And find out, especially if you've got if there's a family history, because there is a strong family history link. If you've been overweight, if you're not feeling well, at least get your sugar levels checked as soon as possible.
And how treatable is it? What's the success rate of treatment, and what needs to be in place to make it manageable?
That's an excellent question. And really, it has to revolve firstly around lifestyle. We've spoken a little bit about being aware of what you eat. So we normally recommend people are very careful with what they eat, cut out the sugars, cut out the sugar drinks, certainly. And then also we give patients glucometers, meters that can measure their glucose levels. So Gabriel uses a glucometer. He told you that he tests his sugar levels before and after he eats. So when patients can do that, they can see which foods increase their glucose levels very rapidly and which foods don't. So they can also be careful of that. Then, and just getting your eating right can have a big effect on the control of the diabetes, especially type 2 diabetes. And then obviously there's a lot of medication. With type 2 diabetes, most patients will start on medication, not insulin. And unfortunately, if they don't control their diabetes, they may well need to go on insulin. But that, hopefully, if they're very careful, they don't necessarily need to go on that. Some people have, and we know through a number of studies and through my own experience, I've had a number of patients who've actually been able to control their diabetes so well through what they eat that they don't need medication.
Wow.
So it is treatable, but you need to be careful.
Yes. Now, to both Lee and Gabriel, now that it is manageable, do you find that there are any surprises along the way, or does it kind of just stay the same in terms of what you have to do to keep it at bay?
Well, sometimes, we try out new foods. And the only surprise is when we think it's low carb, because they say it's low carb, but then it's actually not. But otherwise, it's kind of like normal now.
And do you find that people around you, your friends, take it more seriously now that you're going through it? And do people worry about you a lot?
Sometimes, only really my closest friends. Sometimes most of my other friends, or the kids that I hang out with at school, sometimes they forget that I have it. So they will offer me chips or sweets or something. But my really close friends, it's quite a serious thing, and they always try to cater for me which is really nice of them.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
And I think also, I mean, Gabriel has a twin sister,
Yeah.
Kiara, so she's been really good with helping him as well. And I think together as a family, I mean, as a mother, I do worry about him, and you know,
I mean, I can only imagine.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I mean, there have been many nights that I've had to stay up and monitor his levels, like every 2 hours in the beginning, especially, because they're too high or they're too low, and you want to make sure that you get them stable again.
Yeah.
So. I mean, and there are the odd surprise there, here and there, you know, if he does sport, which was a new experience, and then suddenly it's like, you know.
Adapting to that change as well.
Yeah, so I think as a parent you will always worry, but yeah, together as a family we really are working together. His sister also helps with making funky treat kind of recipes that he can have, which is really cool because she also loves cooking.
Definitely seems so. Well done for handling it. Yeah. Let's see what you have to say on social media, Danilo.
Sure, such cool stories. Everyone's been shedding so much love on our Facebook page as well as on our Twitter account for Gabriel, so thanks for sharing your story with us. And I want you guys to know that animals can apparently get diabetes too, and that conversation is going to be happening after the break right here on Afternoon Express. And we've been asking you to share all your pictures with us of you and your furry friends, and I'm loving seeing all the photos that are coming through on our Facebook page. Let's start with this one from Cheryl, who says, "This is my boy Chunky. He is a diabetic and on insulin. He crept through my cottage pane window 20 years ago, and from there he crept right into my heart." Really, really sweet. Thank you so much, Cheryl. Hermine says, "This is my little boy, Cody." Yolanda sending us a selfie, well, a photograph with her and her pooch. Carlo says, "Ready to pounce," and this is his dog over there. And then Amy October says, "This is Piper. She's 14 years old." Really sweet. Thank you so much, Amy October, for sharing that one. Michelle Benaid saying, "Pinky, my little girl." Let's have a look at some more of these. I see Via. I don't see any pooches in that one. Kumi says, "My angels, Twinkle and Brandy." And then Vilma says, "My baby Minnie." Really, really cute photos coming through on our Facebook page. And all I'm going to say is that if you think that your animals are really, really cute, you're about to see the cutest animal on national television after the break. Welcome back to Afternoon Express as we discuss the very important topic of diabetes. Now, before the ad break, I mentioned that we're going to be seeing the cutest pooch ever on national television. And no, it's not me. It is this cutie over here, Bella, and joining us in the studio today is a very special guest. Today we learned about the causes of diabetes and how we can manage it. But did you know that your pet can get diabetes too? We're joined now by veterinary surgeon Danny Korb to learn more. I had to learn that word before we even came into our studio today. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And welcome to little Bella over there.
Hi, this is Bella.
She's so sweet, man. I think she's going to steal everyone's hearts today. We must make sure that everyone listens. Make sure you listen to this important conversation we're about to have. How do dogs or animals get diabetes?
Well, much the same as humans. Animals can get type 1 and type 2 diabetes. So they can get type 1, which is insulin-dependent diabetes, in which case their pancreases don't produce enough insulin. And type 2 diabetes or non-insulin-dependent diabetes is when their pancreases still produce enough insulin, but their bodies don't respond appropriately to the insulin. And in both cases, they land up with very high blood sugar.
Okay. So can all animals get these two
Basically,
forms?
any animal with a pancreas can get diabetes or some related disease.
Okay. So if, for instance, I've got a pet at home, it's very hard to sometimes find out what is wrong or what's going on with a particular animal. Do we express the same kind of symptoms as a human would, urinating a lot and, you know, those sort of things?
Exactly. So the first things you'll notice are your pet, your cat or your dog will be drinking a lot of water and urinating more than normal, possibly even urinating in unusual places, like in the house when they have never done that before, or cats often urinate in the bath or in the shower. You'll also find that your animal might have an increased appetite and yet still lose weight.
Okay.
Dogs can develop cataracts in their eyes quite rapidly, so their eyes become snow white and they become blind. And cats develop something called plantigrade stance, which is basically when instead of walking upright on their back feet, they actually walk down on their ankles.
Sure.
So those are some of the signs to look out for.
Okay. So there are a lot of telltale signs, I think, for figuring
yes.
this out. And I'm sure, as with humans, early detection is really, really important.
Absolutely.
So what happens? Like, if we're starting to see some of these symptoms and we're nervous and we take it to a vet, what happens?
So the first thing you're going to do is take your animal to the vet. Any of those symptoms can also be symptoms of other diseases. So either way, you need to take your animal to the vet.
Okay.
So the vet will check your animal's blood sugar. They will take a urine sample and check the urine for glucose or signs of infection. They will take blood tests to check for, they'll do blood tests to check for other diseases and that sort of thing. And then once they've confirmed the diagnosis of diabetes, then they'll start treating your animal with insulin and a special diet, and your vet will obviously go into detail with that with you.
So there's a lot that you can do to sort of treat this. So the earlier you can see this, get them to the vet as soon as possible, because then the more that they can do in the process.
Absolutely.
What happens if we want to prevent our animals from getting type 2 diabetes? What can we do to make sure that they're eating a healthy diet?
Right, so a lot of animal foods nowadays are very high in carbohydrates. Which can sometimes be problematic. And a lot of people like to feed their pets treats, and your pets will end up becoming really overweight. We are often busy, we have busy lifestyles, and we don't get a chance to exercise our animals. So they'll end up becoming fat and inactive.
And people think that's cute.
And exactly, and it's unfortunately not cute at all. So those are certain things that you can do to try and prevent the disease.
What about table food? I know this is always a big controversial thing. Buying pet food is a lot more healthy for the animals because it's balanced diets, etc. But what about table food? If we do know that our dogs or our animals or cats are leaning more towards being a type 2 diabetic, is there a way for us to feed them more vegetables or less carbohydrate intensive foods?
Table scraps, as a rule, are a big no-no unless you're cooking specifically a balanced homemade diet for your pet. But as a rule, table scraps are a no-no. If your pet does have diabetes, your vet will put your animal on a prescription diet, a special diabetic diet, which is high in fiber, low in carbohydrates, low in fats. So definitely a prescription diet if your animal does have diabetes. And nowadays, the good quality pet foods are very balanced. Your pets don't need anything else. If you want to give your pet a treat, get them dog biscuits, or you get little cat treats as well. Rather stick to those things.
Sure. So you mentioned that most animals do get diabetes or can have diabetes if they've got a pancreas. So what are the animals that don't get diabetes?
Well, horses, for example, they don't get typical diabetes, but they get a different disease called equine metabolic syndrome. So that's not exactly the same, but it's quite similar.
Okay, cool. Fantastic. Well, honestly, Danny, I've learned so much already from this conversation. Who would have thought that our animals could contract diabetes? And seeing all the photos that people are posting online, it really is a thing. And people have looked after their animals so well. As much as people think that they'll look after themselves, they're in the wild, they're animals. They don't. They need our support.
They really rely on us, yeah.
Absolutely.
And it is a manageable disease. The prognosis is good. If you can manage it and you've got a good relationship with your vet and it's under control and there's no complications, it really is manageable.
Awesome. Danny, thank you so much for sharing this with us. I really appreciate your time.
That's a pleasure.
Over to you, Bon.
So informative, and what a super cute pooch. She's up for adoption, by the way, and she's definitely stolen my heart. So there you go. Thank you so much for all the pictures of your cute little babies that you've sent in. We've got 2 more to read. Chantal Leah and Rur says, my 2 babies, Astro and Milo. And Renal Corona Pele says, Hitler. Well, thank you so much for your pictures. They're absolutely adorable. After the break, though, we announce the winners of our dental competition, and we get to make something in the kitchen that you've only seen in a Dr. Seuss book. Don't go.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. I will not eat them in a house. I will not eat them with a mouse. I will not eat them in a box. I will not eat them with a fox. I will not eat them here or there. I will not eat them anywhere. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them. Sam, I am. Yes, as none other on Afternoon Express, Gabriel's going to be making us green eggs and ham. Would you ever have thought of creating something like this? So what exactly makes green eggs and ham?
Well, you need spinach, you need eggs, you need ham, butter. Don't use seed oils because it's a really unhealthy form of fat. So butter or coconut oil or olive oil is the best.
Okay.
And then cheese and cream.
Yummy.
And then spices if you want.
Well, I'm very excited to get baking with you because I know Dr. Seuss would be very proud of us because you're making his official dish. But this time you're making it sound so delicious because I think he would say, I will eat them, Sam, I am, because they sound so good. So let's get started.
So first you need to put the ham in the
sort of base. Can I do one with you? I'm going to copy you at the same time. Cool. So we'll do that side, we'll do this side.
So you make it like a cup to hold the egg and cheese and stuff.
Oh, yummy.
And then just do that.
On all of them. Let's just do a couple just to show everyone how it's done.
Yeah.
Cool, so we'll do it like that. That's 1 row is enough.
And then you can put your cheese or spinach first.
Oh, yummy.
Just gotta...
I guess the cheese is also a nice binding agent. And yes, obviously with all of those who are have got diabetes, this is a great ingredient to use.
Yeah.
Cool, so I'm going to throw this in there. I'll do the other 3. You can carry on with this one.
Cool. Then you can also put spinach. Oh, you must put spinach in. And that makes the green part.
Have you? That's obviously the green eggs from the green eggs and ham side of things. But did you have to obviously get quite creative with the way that you eat? It must have been quite exciting for you to play around with recipes.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Because you have to combine all of the different nutrients in all of your vegetables, all your greens that Mom always said you have to put in your stuff, and now you have to make it taste delicious.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. So I'm glad that you've played around quite a lot. Cool. You throw in some spinach, and you can use alternatives like you said. What about like rocket? But too bitter.
You can use rocket, but I don't like rocket.
Okay. That's totally okay. Cool, I'm going to add a little bit more spinach to this one. Then what's next?
Then you got to pour some cream into the eggs.
Should we not do it in here and rather whisk it in here? Is that probably going to be easier?
Yeah.
Let's try that. Cool, so just like that. I've got the whisk.
Put that in there.
We're basically making scrambled eggs.
Yeah.
Cool, can I do that for you?
Yeah, sure.
I like cooking with you. He should come back more often because Clem never lets me make anything. He always does it himself, so this time I actually get to do something. Cool. So is this your recipe?
Yeah.
Adapted from a whole bunch of stuff that you've seen online and played with? Cool, I think that is looking good. My last yolk is officially done and dusted.
Cool.
What's next?
So then you got to pour it into the cups.
Sure, should we do something very wise? Let's pour this into there. Aha!
Much easier.
Leave 2 young men into the kitchen. We will make a plan. Cool.
So then you
into there.
pour it in. Oh.
Yummy. So this is going to act as a sort of binding agent. It's the main sort of protein that's being thrown in there with that and your ham. Oh, and your cheese, I guess. So it's basically a whole bunch of protein.
Yeah.
The gym jocks are like, yo, bro, this is a great after gym snack, bro. Hey? Cool. And then what's last? Is that it?
Then you can just add salt and pepper if you want.
Yummy. And throw a bit of paprika on there, I think, is a nice idea, just to kind of get those flavors in. And then this basically goes into the oven for
20 minutes at 180 degrees.
Okay, delicious. Obviously, fill up the whole tray so that you can make it look delicious and make a lot more of them. And they're nice things that you can sort of keep as daytime snacks throughout the day.
Yeah, you can put them in the fridge or even the freezer, and then you can just warm them up.
Right.
That also works.
Very well done.
Yeah.
Just like that, you might have dinner for your diabetic friends, or maybe just a little bit of a snack throughout the week. Really, really healthy stuff you're making on the show today. So if you want to get the recipe for this one, I need you to go to our website, afternoonexpress.co.za. There you can find all the ingredients and the shopping list available for you there too. It's afternoonexpress.co.za.
Now, we've been asking you to share your top must-have items for the perfect summer to stand a chance to win a fantastic summer selfie hamper, which includes Dettel Even-Tone goodies, an LG X Cam phone, and the Striker Pose selfie stick. Congratulations to our finalists, and here they are. First up is Victoria Nisa Langa. She says, hello and happy Wednesday to everyone at Afternoon Express. Here's a picture of my 4 most simple yet very important must-have items for the perfect summer holiday. And she's got her jean pant, she's got a towel, she's got some Dettel and a piece of lemon. Thank you so much for sending that in. And then we've got Chantal Leanne Lutig, who says these are her must-have items. It's cooling mist sunscreen, after sun lotion, her bikini swimming costume, her sunglasses, her towels, and a sarong, and a pair of sandals, etc. Thank you so much. But our winner today is Oleboheng Mutawung, and she says, bye-bye to oily skin. My perfect items for summer holidays are Dettel soap, as I have oily skin in summer. It reduces oil and keeps my skin clear, fresh, and natural. Can't bath without my Dettel Even-Tone. And she happens to be on the line. Oleboheng, hello.
Hi.
Congratulations, you're a winner.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much for entering the competition. What do you have planned this summer?
Sorry?
What do you have planned this summer to do with your new prizes? Okay.
So I can't hear you clearly.
Okay, well, congratulations again, and thank you so much for entering, and enjoy your prize. It's on its way. Now, today we're launching our new competition, and if you want to stand the chance to win with Dettel Even-Tone, simply post a picture on the Afternoon Express Facebook page or tweet us at Afternoon Chat using the hashtag #KeepItEven, telling us how your daily Dettel Even-Tone tips are helping you keep it even this summer, and you could walk away with Dettel Even-Tone products, an LG X Cam phone, and the Striker Pose selfie stick, everything you need for the perfect summer selfie.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. What an incredible show we've had so far, filled with cuteness to knowledge to delicious food. It's been one jam-packed Monday on Afternoon Express, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, there's one other very important question. We didn't get a chance to get to it about diabetes. What are the side effects of it? What's the wear and tear of it?
Well, the most important reason why we worry about diabetes is because it is the biggest reason for heart disease, blindness, kidney failure, amputations of the legs and that. And so it's very important that we get it controlled now and we make people aware of it. And the IDF at the moment with the World Diabetes Day is focusing on eyes. They're trying to get people to be more aware of it. So people, when they have diabetes, should be screened for eye disease, kidney disease. They should have their feet checked and obviously their heart checked as well. And have everything well controlled, their blood pressure controlled, to control all these very severe problems that are happening in diabetes.
Right.
And Gabriel and Abigail, in terms of the biggest misconceptions that you're seeing about your friends and your family about diabetes, Gabriel, start with you.
Well, they think it's contagious, which
really?
is very irritating. And also, they always ask me, like, if I eat a potato chip, am I going to die?
Oh, I see. So it's one of those things. Ugh.
Yeah.
Are these your friends at school?
Well, they're not really my friends.
not
They're
your
kind of
friends.
just kids in my class.
Your friends are clever.
They're not the friends you do want, yeah. Abigail, yourself?
I think because it's a silent killer and you look healthy and you're not in pain or anything, that people just kind of think, well, they forget about it.
Yeah.
They forget that you've got it,
And how can
Not
we
that
be
you want
more
them to.
compassionate? Because I mean, like, I also noticed friends of ours was making facilities available for them to go get their jabs and things like that. How do people become...
I just think, in the office, stop ordering cakes for birthday parties. Can we have something more healthy? Because it's easy just to kind of go down the road and get in 50 cupcakes for a celebration.
Well, there's a challenge for you
which
to
is
make.
also, it's difficult because we also want nice things. Yeah,
Make a diabetic-friendly cake then, Abigail. Like, let's make
well,
it
you
on the
can,
show.
obviously, but...
Especially now with all these gluten-free...
I also want to be treated.
Yes.
True.
Sorry, Bonnie.
Well, what are some of your favorite recipes that you make that are diabetes-friendly?
I use a lot of lemon. I love lemon, and I always think that kind of adds a bit of more flavour and acid and things like that. So a lot on salads, a lot of soya dressings. I know there's probably quite a bit of salt in that, but it's tasty. So ginger, chili, soya, lime juice. Kind of throw that on everything with lots of lemon juice as well. Yeah, so that I kind of do, but I do, I cheat. I love pasta. I'm a carb girl. So it's difficult. We all know,
They say carbs are spirit animals.
Honestly, guys, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. It's been so exciting. Really, really good to have all of you here. I'm learning a lot in the process as well. Hope South Africa, you're learning a lot too. Very exciting news. Make sure you tune into Afternoon Express over the coming week, because on the 28th of November, something big is coming your way. Every day, we'll be revealing a little more, but you'll have to stay tuned to find out what that is.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us today. We're about to enjoy our green eggs and ham, right?
Indeed.
Thank you for that. Tomorrow on the show, we're joined by Basila Bokoko. She's an entrepreneur from America, and she's in Africa doing amazing things for our communities.
She's such an inspirational guest, so we'll see you tomorrow live at 5 on SABC3. Have a good night and happy eating. Bye.
Bye.
Let me dish you guys up.
Sorry, I didn't realize that was me.
Coming up tomorrow on Afternoon Express, Spanish-born American entrepreneur and philanthropist Basila Bokoko shares her story with us. We also chat to Lucy Walsley, a young Cape Townian woman who has started her own creative agency. So be inspired with Afternoon Express tomorrow, live at 5 on SABC3.
Another feel-good production.